You guys, I gotta be honest, this wasn't supposed to happen. I thought that AI might do okay as an investor, but it's already beating me and the S&P. And that really changes things. Because now the real question is, can it keep going or is this just beginner's luck? Who knows? But needless to say, I am pretty shocked at the results so far. All right, now I'll go over the results here in a second, but let's get everyone up to speed just in case you're new here. So 1 month ago, I handed $5,000 of real money over to artificial intelligence, and I told it to invest however it wanted. No human interference, no safety net, just pure AI decision making. The goal was to see if AI could actually beat my own picks and the market with a semi-aggressive, high-growth strategy over 12 months. Every move that AI makes, which happens once per month, I share with you. So wins, losses, and all the weird surprises in between. If you've ever wondered whether a machine can really outsmart Wall Street, you're in the right place. Oh, and make sure that you subscribe so that you get all future updates about this experiment as well, because if other months are anything like this first one, it'll be quite a ride. Now let's go ahead and dive into how the portfolio has performed so far and what I really think about the results. All right, so let's get right into the results because that's what I know that most of you are here for anyway. But just a quick heads up, one of these stocks completely surprised me in a way that I really didn't expect, and it's not the loser either. Now, I'll reveal it when we get into the full list here. So 1 month in, the AI portfolio is up 11%. Not only that, but so far the AI picks are beating the S&P's performance of 5.07% and my own portfolio's performance of 8.59% thus far. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm just surprised. I really didn't think that AI would be able to beat me. Not that I'm saying I'm the best investor ever and I'm the new Warren Buffett, blah, blah, blah. No, not that. But I've always had a pretty good performance with stock. And generally speaking, I've done well.
I think he's kind of a show-off.
And AI just kind of smoked me. And it really beat the S&P, which was crazy. So here's how each investment is performing in my actual portfolio right now. So NVIDIA, this one is the MVP. It's up 19% or $283 in just a month. And it's riding the AI and semiconductor wave. Their recent earnings blew expectations out of the water. And the stock just keeps climbing.
If you're wondering if AI can spot a winner, this is Exhibit A.
I mean, I quite simply cannot argue with Tiara on this. If you recall my first video about this experiment, I said that I didn't like this pick because I was so worried about tariffs. So NVIDIA is a little crazy as of late. And I feel like, so much of that stock's performance really hinges on tariffs that it's not really worth going into it so heavily right now. And I was wrong. Next up is Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is up 27% or $140. And this platform's latest earnings report showed an incredible 50% revenue growth, and the stock responded in a very big way. Now, in my first video, I didn't like this one either. The reason? I lost $800 in the past on Robinhood stock and wrote it off, which shows exactly the kind of bias that can hurt you and myself as an investor. So thank you, AI, for slapping some sense into me with some earnings. And then we have Google. Now, Google's up 6.5% or $85. And it's not as flashy as the others, but it's a steady performer. And their continued growth in AI and cloud makes this a solid anchor for the portfolio. Now, frankly, I hated this pick. I have a lot of reasons why, but I feel like Google is really headed down the wrong path. Then again, I was also burned by Google as my old business model that I had with websites got completely torched with all this AI overview stuff. So it's probably another case of bias that I have. But this is definitely the stock that surprised me the most. Next is Aerospace and Defense ETF. That's up 11% or $106. And with all the global uncertainty and increased defense spending, this ETF has been a reliable performer, giving us both some growth and some diversification. Now, to me, this one made sense, and 11% in a month, I'm sure that isn't common, but it's definitely performing well thus far. And next we have Nucor. Now, this is the only loser so far, down 9%. The steel industry has been hit hard by falling demand and weaker earnings, and Nucor just hasn't kept up. Now, I really didn't have an opinion on this one in the first video, but AI was wrong in that it picked it because it thought that the steel industry would explode in demand. And seeing, nearly every stock in the green after a month and the portfolio beating myself and the S&P is honestly way better than I expected. The AI's focus on tech and growth has really paid off, and even with one bad pick, the overall results are strong, and I've made $547 so far. That said, I'm not here to sugarcoat it either. Nucor's drag is a reminder that even the smartest AI can't dodge every market surprise out there. A lot of you guys had some stuff to say about my entire experiment. So I want to address some of those comments that you guys left directly and give a little commentary. And then after that, we're going to jump into the investment changes that AI wants to make for this month. And I do like the direction that we're heading in. So first is Cool Cat 9 Lives. Glad you appreciate it. Yeah, so far it's mostly been choosing the high cap companies, but I do have some other videos where I wouldn't let it do that, where it made some interesting picks for sure. And for those that don't know yet, I will be updating once per month and letting AI rebalance once per month as well, right before I create the video. Second, we have VBed666. So this is actually super cool to see, and I'm really curious how your performance has been thus far. Do me a favor, if you're watching this, comment below and let me know your performance so far. I'd just love to hear how this is turning out for you. Now, third is the eShmee, and I think this might be Eric from high school that I know, and if so, hello, Eric. Anyway, I am much more focused as an investor on stock fundamentals and public sentiment, as I've really never been a huge fan of technical analysis, and that my strategy has done well for me. So technical analysis always has a place for investors, no doubt, but I opted to focus more on these other factors, as that's what I tend to do as an investor anyway. But so far, I gotta be honest, AI, a technical analysis AI, would be, it'd have a hard time beating these results, I think, so far. So I'm pretty proud of how it's turned out. So now that I've addressed the comments from the last video, let's get into what investments AI is recommending for the month 2 of the experiment. And by the way, before I move to the recommendations, make sure that you subscribe to get all future updates. And do me a favor, leave a comment yourself in this video, as I really love highlighting you guys and what you think in these videos just as much as I can. So make sure you do, so I could hopefully feature you in the next video. All right, so let's get right to the question everyone's thinking. That is, should we stick with what's working, or is it time to shake things up and chase even bigger gains? Well, I've let AI dig deep into what's driving returns right now, and there are some changes. Now remember, the goal here is semi-aggressive growth. So we're leaning into what's working and basically cutting anything that's kind of holding us back, right? So first up, Nucor, it's out. Steel stocks are just facing major headwinds. Global demand is dropping and their earnings have taken a huge hit this year. So I'm selling all of my Nucor shares right now. That said, what do we do with that freed up cash? Well, here's the 2-step plan, right? So first, we're gonna double down on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has been the MVP of this portfolio. It's up 19% in just a month. AI chip demand is off the charts, and even with some regulatory headwinds with China, the company's growth is just on another level, right? So I'm putting half of the proceeds right back into NVIDIA to ride this momentum that it already has even further.
Just a reminder, even NVIDIA isn't immune to a pullback. Chasing winners can be risky if the narrative shifts, but I think it's worth the risk right now.
Well, Tiara, I'd argue with you, but the track record just says that I should shut up. So I will.
You better.
The second part of this is add a tech/AI ETF for broader exposure. So with the other half of the Nucor cash, we're going to boost our exposure to the broader AI trend without betting it all on one stock. The pick here is the Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF. And this ETF is up nearly 29% over the past year and holds a basket of AI-driven companies, which is going to give us some aggressive growth potential with a little bit of diversification too. Beyond that, we will also hold existing positions in Robinhood, Google, Microsoft, and ITA, as they're performing pretty well. So why change them? So that's the reasoning behind our picks. AI momentum, solid fundamentals, and a mix of proven winners with potential breakouts. Now, if you missed part 1 of the experiment and you want to see why AI recommended these to me in the first place, go ahead and click on the video right up here. And if you're still new to investing and aren't really comfortable with the whole premise of it, go ahead and check out this playlist right over here to learn what I consider the absolute basics.